Soulless leaders are disconnected from human impact. It is a cold, self serving approach to leadership. It's about inward looking. You don't think about the people you're leading. The emphasis is on power over people. So they tend to prioritize their personal authority over serving those they lead. They have no empathy whatsoever. As mentioned in the previous slide, they operate without any emotional connection to the well being of others. They are completely devoid of emotion. There is no moral reflection. They make decisions without considering the ethical consequences. It's what works for them, it's what suits them. It doesn't matter how it affects their followers. In most cases, their purpose is not even clear. They lost the purpose. They lose sight of the values, the vision, or accountability. Anything at all that defines good leadership does not influence them at all. So, what are the warning signs and things to look out when you see a soulless leader? Manipulation of others. They use fear, unend loyalty, and they can flip the scripture. They like to use spiritual language to control people rather than empower them. You see, they are brilliant at manipulating people, and as a result of that, the people, the followers, the congregants become so dependent. It's whatever the leader says that they follow. They have no mind of their own to think or scrutinize the scripture to find out things for themselves. There's complete absence of accountability. They operate as though they are above correction. You see, because they've surrounded themselves with a lot of yes men and women, a lot of young people, nobody can question their authority. Nobody can questions. They don't like all those sort of things, and they don't like feedback. Feedback for them is like a threat. They don't like that. Now, the other factor there is the fact that they prefer image over integrity. Their focus is on how they appear, not what they truly are. So reputation is key. Reputation management trumps honesty, and mistakes are hidden. There's always something to cover up. Whenever they make mistake, they will never even admit that they've done something wrong. So how do people become soulless leaders? It doesn't happen overnight. It is a gradual process. The signs are there, but we tend to ignore it. One of the reasons has to do with unchecked power. You see, people are placed in leadership positions, but there's nobody to question their authority. There's nobody to question them. They have no limits. They can intrude in people's private lives in the church. They can control people, tell people exactly how to live their lives. There's so many things they do. They don't have limits. Nobody will challenge them. Nobody will speak about their authority. They have a tendency as well to isolate anybody who can question their authority. So these sort of leaders tend to be surrounded by a lot of young followers who are constantly just praising them, but no question asked. No accountability we mentioned earlier. If they have any system in place, these systems are specifically there to protect the leader, not to correct them. The leader is seen as a celebrity. There's constant praise. And when you know what happens when people constantly praise you, you don't have time to sit and self-reflect. Too much noise around. People are praising you constantly. The time to reflect and be self-aware is completely eroded. Number 5, moral compromise. Small ethical shortcuts that gradually become habitual. So when it comes to decisions, they will do what they feel is right for them, not based on ethics. So why is it dangerous? You see, your role as a leader carries a lot of influence, and that influence spread beyond you. It's impacting so many people around you. So we can even think about it in terms of the emotional harm. Individuals suffer psychological, long-lasting psychological damage from toxic, demeaning, and abusive leadership, which eventually filters through to create a toxic culture. There are people who have actually stopped going to church today because of the experience they had. Some call it church hurt. I'm not going to call it that, but it's just the experience they had in church, and that they've cut off completely from attending service. There's also the erosion of trust. When leaders betray those who follow them, trust, once lost, you can never regain it. The institutional damage. When a place, a church is, or an organization is led by leaders who are soulless, there's long-term damage to the reputation. People mention the name, and there's this negative thing that goes with that particular name, and it can damage your brand. I know these days churches are classified as brands. There's a lot of marketing that goes into it. So, what does healthy leadership look like, and how does it differ from a soulless leader? Now, you see, leadership is not about control, it's about stewardship and service. So, for healthy leaders or healthy leadership, we look out for empathy. If you're not empathetic, if you don't have empathy, please stay away from the church. You cannot lead a church if you lack empathy. Accountability. You must be accountable as a leader. It's never done in any organization where you lead and nobody can question you, nobody can check in on you, nobody. It's just you. There's something wrong if that is the case. Purpose driven. You must have a purpose. You must stay rooted in your mission. Why did you start leading? Why did you come into ministry? This is something you have to do on a regular basis, and that mission has to be shared with the congregation. It has to be reinforced so that we ensure that it's achieved. People focused sees people as a mission, not the means. So you see people as a mission, not the means to get what you want, and you measure success by the development of your people. Are they growing? Are they flourishing? That is the way you measure. So you are impacting your people positively. You see, reflection is a key part of leadership development, and that is why we always have a slide on reflection. Now, you need to ask yourself certain questions, because that is the only way to develop and grow. The first question is, am I still listening? Are you listening to anybody at all? Are you approachable? Do people feel safe to speak to you about concerns that they have without being victimized? Have you created a psychologically safe environment? Are you serving a mission, or are you protecting your position? Are you self-serving, or are you a selfless leader? Are people growing under your leadership or just surviving? Because there are places where people are just surviving surviving. They're not thriving, they're not developing, they're just hanging around. Now, the difference between healthy and destructive leadership is often found in small daily choices that we make. As I said briefly earlier, it doesn't happen overnight. It's the small daily choices that we make that builds up eventually to a situation where people become soulless leaders. So check your daily choices, they reveal your soul. Now the choice you have to make. Lead with your soul or you lose it. As a leader, you make different decisions every day, and sometimes you have to choose between power and purpose, control and service, image and integrity. So choose wisely. The souls in your care depend on it. I hope you found this topic interesting. Please leave your comments. Tell me if you've experienced this type or style of leadership, maybe in your organization, maybe in your church, or maybe at government level. It's possible that people are leading some countries with this sort of approach where they really do not care about their followers. So thank you for watching. Please leave your comments. Don't forget to like and share. And I'll see you on my next video. Thank you.